the Big Ten. And the Spartans as we are underway. Michigan State in the gray unis, LSU in the familiar purple and gold, and a quick shot from three is missed from McCutcheon. Not afraid to pull the trigger. They get it down low to Pointer, who can't connect.
Pointer is the leading scorer for LSU at 15 points per game. So though we talk about Ayanna Mitchell, she's the identity. Pointer has done a good job of scoring the basketball for the Tigers.
Opening minute of this ball game. Here's Clouden, and traveled with the basket.
Sleeve.
Pressure early from the Spartans in the backcourt. As Richard Harris, the 5'2" senior, sure can handle that basketball. Minute gone. Let's see it, Afua from up top. And Osment went down hard for Michigan State. McCutcheon feeds down low, and Bellis on the miss. Good look for Bellis that time. Finished third in the Big Ten Conference. And look at the steal, the aggressiveness from Afua. Went off a win versus Rutgers, 64-58 Sunday at the Maravich Assembly Center in Baton Rouge. Rutgers also here at the Junkanoo Channel, although they won't play each other. McCutcheon with great.
Biggest player on the floor, and McCutcheon that listed as 5'5", but a lot of toughness and grit for number 4 for the Spartans. Michigan State trying to get into their pick and roll action for Clouden. Good job breaking that up by LSU. Both teams remain scoreless.
Taken away, Richard Harris in, and a net right. Gets it in. Still scoreless.
One thing Nikki Vargas wanted to see in this game is more touches for her post player. She said, we're shooting a high percentage between Afua and Mitchell. We need to use them.
Clouden nearly taken away again by Richard Harris.
And that's going to be the challenge for Clouden, is LSU is as stout of a backcourt defense as you will see, and Clouden is really make her work.
Pressure by Michigan State, and backs off. Pointer played nearly 3 minutes and still scoreless. And a foul underneath.
That the physical challenge on the interior is going to be a point of emphasis in how it's called and what officials are able to put a whistle on down low.
All the way, and Afua, Team Canada, and makes them both. And taken away. And again, the scrappiness of McCutcheon. And a travel.
Telling you, she does not let up. That is the type of teammate you want in the foxhole with you, because she plays all out every possession on that end of the floor.
Pointer, a floater, gets her own rebound. Second chance, makes it count. LSU finally on the board. Kali hits for 3. And that's Michigan State's first field goal. Michigan State ball. As they throw it over the top. And LSU's got it. Michigan all the way with it.
Michigan State has struggled against that full court pressure of LSU. All players have to be in position to be utilized to inbound that ball safely and securely.
Kali working against Richard Harris. And a long three from up top is good. From Victoria Gaines, coming off the bench, the redshirt senior. They go down low, and a couple of misses right at the rim for LSU, and McCutcheon clutches the basketball. Here she is, swinging it back outside. You talked about the energy McCutcheon possesses. The intensity in the first 5 minutes of this game is palpable. McCutcheon, hey, when it's going your way, it'll count off the glass on Black Friday.
Not bad.
The bank. 5 minutes gone, first quarter. 6-point lead for the Spartans. And a spin from Pointer.
And I like that Pointer's going to still go at McCutcheon.
Sure.
I mean, we saw her get an off, see her bench shine in situations like this, so we'll see how they respond.
Pointer made the first. And makes them both. McCutcheon, hounding defense over on the sidelines, and it's
the bonus. If there's another foul call that goes LSU's way.
Took a little more than 5 minutes for Michigan State to get to the line on the fouls. McCutcheon makes them both, and the lead is at 6 now. Down the baseline, and a pretty move that time by C. And a scrap for it. LSU comes up with it. Cherry all the way.
For her team on defense, whether she scores or not, that is really her identity for the Tigers.
LSU has cut it to 2. Oh, wow, what a pretty move. It did everything but go in for Colley. Here she is back at the 10. No good again this time. Got to be able to finish those at the bucket. Cherry traveled with it. Season could go a long way in seeding in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I mean, right
March.
now, Michigan State's ranked number 15 in the country. If LSU can get a victory, huge resume builder. And the other way, as LSU is expected to finish 6th in the tough SEC, which
Long
normally
three.
in that conference means NCAA tournament.
That's right. Brooks. Here's Pointer going down low to Afua. Lost out of bounds. It'll stay with the Tigers. And it goes to Afua, and it's poked away, and who else? McCutcheon. And it's Michigan's top of it defensively.
She's in every play.
Yeah.
She has an impact on almost every play on the defensive end.
Final 3 minutes of the opening quarter. Colley penetrating. What a dish to Park!
Look at the boost Shea Colley is giving Michigan State. As well as they have started the season, boy, to miss a player that's that talented on offense.
Kayla Pointer.
And then threading the needle on that pass for the finish.
Shot clock running down, and turnovers for LSU here in the opening quarter. As Sparty looks to build on a 4-point lead.
Michigan State team that in previous years is their depth. I mean, this is a team that has been ravished in stretches by injury, but not as much this season. And they've got a big freshman class for Susie Merchant that's eager to have an impact.
Pointer long on the 3, 50-50 ball as Cherry comes up with it. Talked about them being 5-0 for the first time in 7 years. The first one missed by Cook. And she misses them both. We've seen in a couple of our previous games how free throws have been such a determining factor in some of these games. And every game has been close so far. Every free throw is critical. Pointer kicking it into the corner. Richard Harris, splash on the three.
Pointer has been able to get a piece of the paint. Taryn McCutcheon was having an impact on her early on, but in recent possessions, Pointer's found a way, especially in pick and roll, to penetrate.
Colley into the corner. The McCutcheon traveled with the basketball. Quite the shooter, very much a vocal leader on this team, Richard Harris, the senior. Been around this program her whole career, and here's Young penetrating in, blocked in there by Parks. Colley thought about it, and
The ball just in the right places defensively. That's what Nikki Fargas is looking for.
Final minute of the opening quarter. Young ties the ball game.
That time with a pump fake. See the difference in those possessions? She got her shot blocked last time down.
Learned her lesson, a little bit more patient. And LSU has drawn even. Shot clock is off. Cook doesn't want to wait for the shot clock. She scores the bucket.
I like Cook. Physical, deceptively quick, strong.
Cherry.
Body. 6-footer off of the bounce.
Gets it in. Trazi pulls up off the mark. Shea Colley leads the way with 5 points for the Spartans as we start the second quarter. Cherry kicking it back outside.
Mitchell has only played 2 minutes and 58 seconds in this game with 2 personal fouls. And on the other side of Michigan State, Shea Colley is back and really helping to get them some opportunities on the offensive end.
How about that offensive rebound from Thomas? Jalaisha Thomas, the sophomore, transfer from Florida. And in and out of the hands of Colley. Osmond working against Colley. LSU looking to take its first lead. Cherry well off the mark, though, from long range. And for a second consecutive trip a season ago.
Take you a minute till you get going, fully going, but we've definitely seen some good things from her so far.
Cherry puts it up from 15 feet and the foul.
Really good play from her here.
And all the way rejected by
State that she would be available for this game. And see how aggressive she is taking it to the rack. So she looks like she's okay.
That's a good sign. As she makes 1 of 2. Cherry has it poked away by Clouden.
LSU is
Dishes it to Holly.
That's all for Michigan State, but LSU is struggling to figure out who to run their offense through right now.
Quick possession as Richard Harris misses the mid-range jumper. And Clouden. Sophomore guard has been in double figures 4 different times this season. Pointer down low and a foul.
Hard to get around. That's just as effective. When you get it, you are in position to do something with it.
And McCutcheon nearly poked that one away. Pointer to Afua is way off the mark. Quarter. All square at 18 apiece. McCutcheon from long range. And how about that?
Well run, well executed play for McCutcheon to get that 3.
She has 7 points. Doing it on both ends of the floor as the scrappy guard.
That's one thing both of these teams have to remember is the better the defense, the better the screening has to be. Get your teammates open.
Young pulls up. A long 2. Out there.
Yeah, McCutcheon running around a couple of screens wide and got open for that look.
All the way with it.
Good job.
And Michigan State going to Clouden for 2.
Turn the corner. They thought she was going to pass it. She does a good job keeping the defense off balance.
And just like that, Michigan State ahead by 5. And the bucket.
All inside, but that hasn't happened, especially with Mitchell on the bench, so Pointer stepping up.
7 points for Pointer. Put that one high off the glass. And converts on the 3-point play. Nice bounce pass underneath. Unable to finish, though, was Errol. Pointer. LSU being patient. Young pulls up 17 feet, way off the mark.
And she has struggled, a player that has a ton of potential, but has not scored the basket.
Rebounds for her and all kinds of great plays on the defensive end for Michigan State. Clouden makes them both, and the lead back up to 4 for the Spartans. Down low, and it's knocked away. Great defensive play by Gaines. LSU now having a tough time getting it down to their bigs.
Yeah.
Here's McCutcheon. Blocked out there by Pointer. Leaves it for Young, yes! The bucket, and what you're in there with the Sharks is Young misses on the free throw. Free throws been a problem here at the Junkanoo Jam for just about every team so far.
Seriously, we need to check the rims
That's
at halftime
right.
and see if there's something wrong there.
Cook gets it underneath, and the bucket for Michigan State, who goes back on top by 4.
I mean, we talk a lot about McCutcheon and Clouden, but Cook, who's had some injuries here and there, but I just am always, I walk away from Michigan State games impressed with her. And there's Afua. They'd want to see more of that from LSU.
And Coach Nikki Fargas wants Afua to get more touches. That's very important on the offensive side of the ball for LSU. From way outside, Joyner, and way off the mark. And LSU gets back. Gaines slow to get back down the court for Michigan State. And this can tie it. And she does. Young had 19 points against New Orleans. Very talented freshman. play still a little uneven and early here in her college career is to be expected.
Yep. It's a freshman for you.
And Michigan State's going to turn it over right here in the backcourt.
When you've got a great post presence in Mitchell and a guard like Pointer.
And right on cue, Pointer knocks it down. From the elbow, Tigers back in front. McCutcheon, can she do it again? She sure can. There is nothing that McCutcheon hasn't done here in the first half.
Well, she comes into this game shooting 43% from three, and she gets it up quick.
And she's in double figures with 10 points. And
foul call. Looks like the foul was actually called on LSU as an offensive foul, but it was not upgraded.
And the good news, Cook, who was knocked down on that play, stays in the game. And taken away from McCutcheon that time by Richard Harris.
Richard Harris and McCutcheon fighting for the smallest players on the floor.
Yeah.
Richard Harris only 5'2".
And how about that aggressiveness from Cook? Gets it to Winston for the bucket.
Aggressiveness is the word.
And toughness as Cook comes right back from that injury, back down on the floor going for that 50-50 ball. Pointer looking for somebody. Michigan State has amped up the aggressiveness defensively. Under 10 to shoot. Pointer gonna have to take a long three. And that is a terrific defensive possession.
Brooks has traveled quite a bit. Went from K-State to Trinity Valley. Made some big plays towards the end of their game against Rutgers. And actually made the half-court shot today, so may be her night.
In practice, that's right. Make it 12. Pointer just inside the three-point arc, well short.
She has a good-looking mid-range shot.
Winston dumps it off.
The little things, the 50-50 balls, the offensive rebounds, finishing at the rim. And even though playing at a fast pace can slow down enough to make good decisions, take care of the basketball.
We talked about that 70-point mark for Michigan State. They have just moved past getting halfway to that magic number. Not quite to halftime. Richard Harris, and that is rejected out there by Errol. Clouden not waiting for anybody. All the way, and that's a blocking foul. Count the bucket. Clouden converts on the three-point play, and Michigan State all of a sudden by 9 in the final minute of the first half. Brooks is no good on the three, and that's a big takeaway by C. LSU can't turn it into points. And less than a second difference between the game clock and the shot clock. Here goes Winston. Not that time. LSU can hold it for one. Pointer. And Afoya scores.
Beautiful touch. Before the offense gets into that shot, that is normally a charge call, but again, maybe officials thought the defender was falling before contact was made.
So Mitchell back out on the floor to start the third quarter for LSU. McCutcheon in and out on that.
And putting more experienced players in here. Shay Colley's on the floor. Mardrika Cook is on the floor. Victoria Gaines is on the floor right now.
As Colley takes it all the way for the lay-in.
Bellis the sophomore, was also pulled out of what was the starting lineup in this game. So some changes for Susie Merchant to try to get things going here in the third quarter with the players that got her a spark in the first half.
Sure. Looking for a fast start. They lead it by 9. Richard Harris, that one blocked away. And the Spartans come up with it. Keep an eye on Mitchell, and there's a block from.
I think a good change for Susie Merchant going with the players that were working.
Sure, musical chairs in the lineup. Colley makes 1 of 2. She's got the first 3 points of the third quarter for the Spartans. C with a long-range 2-pointer. All the way Clouden and traveled with the basketball.
With the veteran who is tougher, stronger, all the words we talked about with Cook. Well, Mitchell is all of those things as well. So I can't wait to watch those two battle it out.
Here comes Pointer. Tried to dish it to Mitchell, but there were hands in the passing lane right there. And here's Colley on the other end. And wide open is McCutcheon. She's missed her first 2 from long range to start the quarter. Fayu's got it. Pointer. Fayu penetrating, and that is an offensive foul.
I was talking to Kara Fisher at halftime about Mardrika Cook, who just took that charge, and Cook has been injury riddled, and this is probably the healthiest that Susie Merchant said she has seen Cook in her career, and she's playing like it.
Gaines. Michigan State's bench erupts. Largest lead for the Spartans. It is 12. And Nikki
by Susie Merchant to change the starting lineup to start the third quarter. I think it threw LSU off a little bit. I mean, you get kind of settled into what you think your starting assignments are going to be, and secondary are those off the bench. And I think the change kind of rattled them a little bit and impacted their start to the third quarter.
12-point lead for the Spartans. LSU needs offense, and Trazi's way off on that 3. Shea Colley penetrating in, split the defense, but couldn't finish at the rim. And a long 3 from Richard Harris. And another quick possession for the Tigers. So McCutcheon sets the offense. Inside, up and under, and a terrific move by Mardrika Cook. The redshirt senior, very seasoned.
The new associate head coach, Dean Lockwood, who we all know from his years at Tennessee, has been working with Cook and has helped her a lot in her confidence and her ability to be effective. Nice catch, and finally the first bucket of the game for preseason All-SEC selection Ayanna Mitchell.
And if you're an LSU fan, that is a good sign right there. You need to see a lot more of that here in the second half. Finally on the board is Mitchell. The dump down to Gaines for the bucket. Nice pass by Clouden. Here's Trazi. Richard Harris, McCutcheon poked it away for a moment. Shot clock at 8.
Defense sagging off just enough so LSU cannot get that pass into Mitchell. Shea Colley looked like she just grabbed an ankle. That's the other thing. If LSU can feed off of their defense, they can get some easy buckets and offensive rebounding as well.
And it goes to Spencer. Cherry back in there for the Tigers. We'll see if they look for Mitchell. They dump it down to her. She's immediately double teamed,
Beautiful
but
cut.
dishes to Cherry, who's open for the hoop.
See, you get the ball to Mitchell. The defense collapses. If you continue to move and work, find an open player.
Here goes Clouden, knocked away. Fight for it underneath, and Cherry is out of there with it for LSU. You saw on that last possession, Mitchell attracted the defenders and left Cherry wide open. Doesn't have to score to be a real asset to the Tigers.
And they got Pointer and Mitchell on the same side of the floor on that last possession. Pointer just couldn't make it happen. An offensive foul by Colley.
The official. So we dip under 4 minutes to play in the third quarter. 12-point lead for Michigan State. Tierra Young from 17 feet, no. Bounces around, and it'll belong to LSU. 3 seconds to make it 3:29. Into the hands of Mitchell. Now Spencer. An off-balance shot gets picked.
Gritty points. And they got to figure out how they can get some points off of turnovers, which has been their staple coming into tonight.
Spencer makes 2 free throws. Cuts the lead down to 10, and full court pressure causes the turnover. Pointer over to Cherry and misses an easy one. Cherry, luckily for her, able to get it back, but that's one of those you've got to put home.
Yeah, a great job getting the turnover off the full court pressure.
Here is Spencer in the lane, way off the mark, but right there to clean it up is Young. They expect great things from Tierra Young, this freshman. And Michigan State wants to talk about it as that full court pressure that's points to cut the deficit to 8. With the pressure. And a 10-second violation.
In the huddle.
So can the Tigers take advantage of some of these Michigan State miscues? Here is Young. Mitchell down there looking for the ball.
And it's taken her a while because Cook is being physical, so she can't get to her spots very easily.
Gaines with the takeaway. All the way. Gaines is there. A couple of misses point blank for the Spartans. And the alternating possession is LSU picked 6th by the media in the SEC, 8th by the coaches preseason. And all the way, it was Pointer.
Michigan State.
And with 1:57 left in the third quarter, 8 consecutive points for LSU has made this a 6-point game. No good from Cook, and Michigan State called for.
They are a step ahead, and
that is 10 for her in the game. 5-point lead, and a foul's going to go.
got a foul call. It's been a while.
Here comes McCutcheon, trying to break the press in a 5-point game. Gaines goes underneath, tapped away from Holly. Pointer, oh my, and an offensive foul.
It's wanted earlier in the game. Very similar play.
Clouden gets it across.
Barely.
Pounding defense.
Boy, LSU just playing really hard, all-out, tough defense. What you expect.
McCutcheon, 4 to shoot from the corner, no good from Clouden.
And that's the shot, Susie.
It was a 14. MSU has amped up the pressure.
And they are in their defense right now.
And nearly took it away again.
Michigan State using their post players to break the press.
Who's going to step up for them offensively now?
I mean, Clouden's got to make plays. McCutcheon's got to be in the mix.
Gaines dishes it to Holly.
Forward of handling, but I think Clouden and McCutcheon have got to be involved in what they're doing on offense, and even Cook.
And it was Mitchell who drew that foul. Less than a second difference between the clocks, so they can really hold it for one as Young dribbles up front. Guarded by Cook. 8 seconds left. Young no good. And a hard fall under there. Everybody seems to be
Lead.
I don't think there's been any more common thread between all the games in these first few days than free throw shooting. 2 seconds left. Clouden puts it up off the mark. Minutes. It's really about LSU's defense is what's brought them back into this game.
Yeah, only 9 points for the Spartans. They were rattled by the Tigers' defense, by that pressure, by that aggressiveness. And Mitchell sets the tone for that. That's why when she went out of the game, it hurt LSU in their mindset.
And Osment. Where are the Spartans going to go for offense? Clouden's one option. Osment has not been on the floor for a while. Here's McCutcheon, who's been completely quiet since halftime after having 12 points in the first 2 quarters. They dump it down low.
Established.
And again, LSU does not mind getting physical. And that's what they do, and Michigan State was concerned about that coming into this game. Opening minute, 4th quarter.
Michigan State going under on every screen, and that was an easy read for McCutcheon.
Who pulls up. No good. Yeah. Michigan State hasn't scored in nearly 6 minutes. Osment over there on the sidelines. And she's going to launch a long 3. And it's off the mark.
In that first quarter to loosen up the offense for Michigan State. And she's back on the floor right now, but that's what you need in this instance, somebody to go get a bucket against a tough LSU defense.
Here's Mitchell. Hands it back to Davis. Spencer looked for Mitchell. The pass was off the of Spencer. Here's Mitchell. Mitchell still with just 3 points and 1 field goal. Kafua with the turnaround. She has 6. One-point game. A 13-0 run from LSU. And
Clouden tried to draw a foul, but another low percentage offensive possession.
Just don't have much of a plan on the offensive end. Cherry's jump shot no good, but Mitchell scores the bucket.
On the floor.
LSU has only led for 57 seconds in this game. Missed free throw, but again, it's the aggressiveness. This time, Davis coming up with the offensive board.
Dominique Davis did not play in their game against Rutgers.
McCutcheon had it for a moment. Can somebody stop this drought for the Spartans? 15-0 run now for the Tigers. And an offensive foul. A long way.
This is what LSU did to Rutgers. I mean, they kept the Scarlet Knights from scoring for under 3 minutes of that game. LSU needs to move here.
And a battle of two incredibly defensive teams in that matchup. Here goes Young, and she has it taken away. McCutcheon. Nice bounce pass to Cloudens. The game at 49. Makes them both. The Sparty is back in front. Can they weather this storm? How tough is this Spartans team? Can they overcome this dark period in this game and reemerge? Afua didn't have her eye on that basketball. Davis was there. Shot clock at 10. Afua working against Gaines. Right hand, no good. Shea Colley headed the other way. Kicks it outside. Clouden for three. No, but look at the rebound from Mitchell. So athletic. Driving inside. Young, another opportunity, scores.
What a game. Shea Colley just gave the officials a look. Get her off me.
Here's Davis in a 51-50 game. Inside and steps. Solid game under there. 6 points.
LSU has held 5 of their opponents this season under 60 points. Tremendous defense.
5 of their 6 opponents. Here's McCutcheon kicking it. Colley going inside. Their shot altered by Afua. And now here's Pointer at the other end, leaving it for Afua, who scores with the finger roll. And a foul.
And first of all, LSU has taken 11 trips to the free throw line in the second half to only 4 for Michigan State. Michigan State is 0 for 7 from 3 in the second half after going 4 for 9 in the first. So a lot of changes to Michigan State's offense. You got to credit the defense of LSU, and LSU has gotten to the line because they've just been the tougher team.
McCutcheon chases down her own miss. Now launches from long range, and it's just a lid on that bucket at this end of the floor. An eternity ago. And not much better at the line. LSU, can they put the hammer down and close this thing out, which has been a remarkable turnaround in this game. Trailed 48-30 entire first half. And even though she hasn't scored a lot of points here in the second half, she has been a key presence in the game for LSU in a lot of ways.
Shea Colley with another wild shot. She hasn't been able to find it from the field.
Pointer with McCutcheon on her. 10 seconds. Pointer spins. McCutcheon, great defensive play. And a tie-up, but you got to be mindful, only 6 seconds to shoot it as they get it into Pointer. Working against McCutcheon, and how about that move? Tapped away by Osmond. And LSU on a 20-2 run. Pointer No good. A foul. And that one does not fall. 1 of 2. It's a 5-point game. Can Michigan State pry the lid off their basket?
Look at how far out LSU is defensively. Boy, they are pushing the offense for Michigan State. Way out of position to make a play.
Long 3 from Gaines. It's just not there right now for the Spartans, and hasn't been for such a long time.
Game.
Right now on a 20 against not just anybody, but the team picked to finish 3rd in the Big Ten, 5-0 Michigan State. Second half, believe it or not, after 12 in the first half. She's now got 14 for the game.
But still without a field goal is Michigan State, if I'm correct.
Yeah. The 5:30 mark of the 3rd quarter, the last field goal for the Spartans. Incredible. Incredible. Here's Davis with it. LSU in no hurry at all. Try to dump it down to Mitchell. It's out of.
She never took possession of the ball. Only 8 seconds on the shot clock for LSU.
They look to get it into Mitchell. The shot put up by Pointer. It does not hit the rim. Mitchell, and that is a violation. 14 minutes, nearly 14 minutes since their last field goal. Can McCutcheon end the drought? Not even close. LSU has just cut off the flow for Michigan State on the offensive end. And the Tigers comfortable milking a little clock as we tick down towards a minute left. Over the head of Mitchell. Here comes Clouden, blocked off on the baseline. Gaines, outside. Clouden no good.
And that was a good look.
That
I mean,
was
that was what they wanted to do defensively with that group, and Ayanna Mitchell.
Young with 10. So many contributions all over the place, especially on the defensive end for LSU. Michigan State, McCutcheon finally hits one.
Ball, which makes it a little bit easier.
They get it into Richard Harris. The senior guard at 5'2", Jalen Richard Harris. Over to Cherry.
It looks like Michigan State is in a zone here. Or zone, at least came out in a zone look.
Under 10. Richard Harris, Cherry, they work it around and now try to go inside to Mitchell, but it's tapped away. And a chance for Michigan State. Under 10 seconds left. They'll call a timeout. Osmond to bring it in.
All-out denial here by LSU.
Right out. Here's McCutcheon. She's going to put it up and draws a foul. Is good. The 5'5" senior misses the second. So now Michigan State has got to put bodies down on the blocks, and McCutcheon will have to intentionally miss it, LaChina, and hope for a quick rebound and a putback. McCutcheon misses and whistles. It's going to belong. Mitchell to inbound. And does so. A whistle. LSU celebrating, but perhaps a foul.